Nothing good. I see Christian Delorme is here. Bonjour, mon ami.
Hey, bonjour, mon ami.
Let's see. Gambit's here. Snort's here. Andy is here. Hello, Snorty. And of course, Christian is here, who's been a member for 30 months. Look at that. Showing off my membership. Hell yeah.
Snorty, of course, being our favorite bear.
Yes.
How dare you, sir?
Martin is still.
Martin to Smokey.
I was going to say either Smokey or Yogi.
Fair. Hey,
So, we're going to talk about this movie today, and I got to tell you, man, I saw this movie and had no clue what I was in for when I watched it. It is an emotional roller coaster ride, and the third act, the intensity of that third act was worth the price of admission.
It catches you off guard a lot, too.
Post-apocalyptic cop horror flick? No, it's not.
Well, it's not post-apocalyptic. It's just Saudi Arabia, so almost.
Yeah, because they go into Riyadh, and which is a place I'm familiar with, and so it's an interesting story, to say the least. And like I said on the thumbnail, Peter Berg's very much a patriot, pro-America, especially pro-soldier writer-director. And he found a way to slip a war film under the noses of these executives in Hollywood, because they did not want to produce a war film. We're not going to be pro this war, and but he snuck one in. This one is disguised as an FBI thriller, but in reality, every single thing that they deal with is shit that the U.S. military had to deal with.
The funny part is, I actually saw this movie for the first time when I was in Afghanistan.
Right? Did you see it on post?
No. We had a bunch of hard drives roving around with people that had burned movies, and this was one of them. And I thought we were going to watch Kingdom of Heaven, but it was this movie. And you know what? I wasn't disappointed.
There you go.
It may not be.
By the way,
may not be Kingdom of Heaven, but it's a damn good film.
I prefer this movie over Kingdom of Heaven.
I love it
because he made some historical mistakes with that movie.
Oh, he does. But
Christian Delorme with a $5 Canadian super chat. We got you guys flatter me when you speak my language. Mind you, I'm easily flattered.
Ooh, Christian saying he's easy. Is he? Wow, nice.
So it's good to see all you guys this morning. And oh, look at that. Look at that.
Ooh, Joe showing off some art this
Gritting
morning.
their teeth this morning. I think I saw this the other day when you were inking it.
Yep. That's the classic privateer clenched teeth thing. Yes.
Looks like your teeth.
Yeah. Only his are better than mine. As you can see, there's not broken ones in there.
Yeah, but that's your lip and your nose.
Yes, of course. Yes. The privateer is a self-insert, I mean, he's pretty much me. So
you're romancing the stone with that character. So let's see.
It.
I got to get him a video. All right, I'm just gonna do this because I fucking love this one.
Pudding? No, thank you, sir.
As strong as they used to make the coffee at my unit, it might as well be.
That's what we call,
by the way,
guava.
Guava, yeah. I pointed this out a long time ago that people didn't catch this. That Henry Cavill did the Mission Impossible reload of his fists when he played Cavalry.
Oh yes, the cavalry. Yes.
And here, I wanted to show it because people are like, no, they're arguing with me. I went, no, he really does it.
Does do it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So not
Yes.
only is he doing a great nod to Wolverine, the classic Wolverine, the snick snick sound, he is also doing a nod to himself.
Yes. Nothing wrong with that.
Also a massive Warhammer nerd, which is one of the reasons I love him.
He is, and he is the power behind that series on Amazon, which I don't know what the status is on that thing.
From what I hear, it varies from week to week of they're not doing it to he's going to be in charge of it. I think it's an argument with Amazon's DEI policies, because DEI is something that is fundamentally not compatible with Warhammer.
The thing is the female Astartes.
They want female Space Marines, and it's not happening. And even Games Workshop has said that's not happening.
But Games Workshop made that canon. Or tried
Well,
out.
Oh, the female Custodes, you mean?
Yes, the Custodes, I mean.
Yeah. They made that. I'm not sure they're going to stick with it because of the backlash they got. Games Workshop is famous for throwing things out there as maybe it's real, maybe it's not. And if the fans react negatively, then they'll, kind of retreat into their shell a little bit.
Oops.
Yeah, it's kind of a, oh, did we say that was real?
Yeah.
That was a fun story that's not true.
But I heard that the contention point between Cavill and Amazon was the female custodian.
Well, that doesn't surprise me. He's not just
But they won it, and he says that's...
Well, he's a Custodes player. Like, that's his faction, too. So I can see him going, no, not happening.
he would rather not do it than to do it wrong.
Yep. And that's the way to approach properties like that is I would rather this not happen than do it in a manner that's disrespectful to the source material. Which is one of the reasons I don't want a BattleTech movie.
God, I hope they don't go there.
I would love to see a BattleTech movie. Not right now, though.
Hello, Paul.
Hey, Paul.
Oh man.
You okay, Joe?
Oh yeah. I'm working the bugs out. I don't know if you saw my page logo popped up all of a sudden because I only had my screen on 2 minutes. So it killed my Twitch stream all of a sudden. That's how I broadcast it through my Twitch stream. Now I've got to go Michael Jackson in preparation of work. Just like Gary's doing.
If you're going Michael Jackson,
Gotta go Michael Jackson, man. You got one glove, and that's it.
Don't forget to grab your cherries and say, woo.
Hey.
There you go.
You know what time it is.
I decided to name the donut shop Don's Donuts.
Don's Donuts.
For Don
I
Eckert.
should just call it Don's Nuts. People will probably just call it donuts by accident. So. There you go. Very nice. Okay.
I mean, we had one close to that in the town I used to live in called Donna's.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like, yeah, Donna's Donuts. All right.
Ooh.
They had great coffee.
Got to make sure I'm on the right link here. Boom. So I've never seen The Kingdom. Tell me what it's about, gentlemen.
It is a movie that was made in 2008.
Seven.
2007. That in a period of time when Hollywood did not want to make pro-military, pro-soldier movies. And So what Peter Berg did is he tricked Hollywood by making it out to be a thriller, FBI thriller, when in reality, it's dealing with all of the issues that was facing the U.S. military over in the Middle East, as well as dealing with 9/11.
Which was
Speaking
also
of
a subject
9/11,
they
have you
didn't
guys
want to touch at the time.
have you heard?
It's-
Have you seen this documentary that's out about through TMZ about a fifth plane?
No.
Yeah, I watched it last week, but
What do you think?
it's pretty interesting. It's pretty
Mhm.
interesting
I
that
haven't seen it
this
yet. I'll have to give it a
that
look.
they have kept this under wraps, hiding it. But anyway, I want to go back to this. So
Oh yeah,
basically, The Kingdom is a action thriller that tells the story of FBI agents who are sent over to the Middle East, are pretty much, I don't know what to say, they're cuckolded by Saudi Arabia and the politics of the Middle East in doing their job because a bunch of Americans were killed in an incident that took place there, where Saudi nationals dressed in fake uniforms went in and shot a lot of Americans that were hidden in the city. They're under the secure hands of the Saudi prince. And so the Saudi prince has an investment in finding out who these people were, but it exposes the politics of Saudi Arabia and the flaws within it, and how Jamie Foxx leads this team over there. And it's Jennifer Garner, and I got to tell you, she holds her weight in this movie. She came out of this from doing Daredevil and playing Elektra. So she was adept at doing the action scene. You got Chris Cooper is a favorite of mine. He's from right here in Missouri, and he's a Kansas City boy. And of course, it was directed by Peter Berg, and you know who he is. I mean, the worst movie he's made is Battleship, and I fucking love that movie.
Battleship's fun, dude.
Yes,
Check
it
your
is.
brain at the door. Fun.
Yep, it's written by Matthew Michael Carnahan, who is also the writer of the film we're going to be doing next called Mosul. This guy is very passionate about the military, and he's very close friends with Peter Berg. He wrote World War Z. He wrote 21 Bridges, which I thought was a pretty good film.
He's the one responsible for World War Z.
He's the one responsible for the screenplay. He was hired to fix it. Deepwater Horizon, State of Play. The only thing I hold against him is that piece of shit movie that I refuse to see called Lions for Lambs, which he thought he was doing a pro-soldier film, but in reality, it was an anti-war film. And what's the rule? Never make an anti-war film.
No.
You make a film that you are realistic with, and it in itself is anti-war.
Yeah, because war, as someone who's fought one, war's horrible.
Yes, it is. And so therefore, making a film that is intentionally and knowingly salacious and anti a president, anti an administration, because they made the film right in the midst of the war. They made it in 07. And guess what happened when it hit the theaters? Nobody went to see it.
Imagine
because Americans don't want to watch anti-America films, which is what it ended up being. And I'm hoping that he learned his lesson, because everything he's done after that has been a lot better. Paul Smith, what's up, man? Chris Cooper, I love that guy. Ever since I saw him in Lone Star back in the 90s, I have just been a huge fan of that dude. And the only reason I saw that movie was because a magazine I was working for wanted me to do a drawing for a review. And I did this elaborate pencil sketch for the film. And they sent me a copy of the movie. to watch, and I watched it, and I'm like, "Fuck, I love that movie." And Chris Cooper just stood out.
You get those every now and again where it's just like, I didn't realize this movie was going to be awesome, but I love it.
Yeah. So, but there you go. Very good film. Anima seemed to really like it. She's not. Are you here, Anima?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. So basically, this film went into production back in 06. And prior to Peter Berg directing it, he spent 2 weeks in Saudi Arabia researching the film. And then he decided, we're not going to shoot over here for the most part. He decided the smartest thing anybody could ever do, shoot in Maricopa County, where I grew up. He shot in Phoenix and Mesa, Arizona for close to about 85% of the film. In fact, I recognized in one scene when they turn a corner in their little wagon train of SUVs. I recognized I recognized it as my train stop in Phoenix because I took the tram to work, and I was like, "Hey, that's where I used to get off my train to go into Mesa." Yeah, fucking yeah. So they shot on the highway there. There are scenes that are shot in Abu Dhabi and in they shot in Abu Dhabi and in the United Arab Emirates and in Dubai. So that's where they shot. But they only shot a few things there. Most of it is shot in fucking Arizona. And you wouldn't fucking know it. And I kept telling people, because we were going to shoot back in 2006 when we were talking with the northern Iraqi government to make City of Fire the war in Mosul, the battle that took place on June 24th of 2004 between the strikers and the Syrian / Iranian what are they called? Insurgents. And it was when they set off a series of bombs in the middle of Mosul. Well, they set them off all over the country, but they set off 2 500-pound car bombs in the middle of Mosul, and their targets were not the military this time. They targeted the civilians. They targeted the hospital, and they targeted a police station in particular, where there was a line that went 2 blocks for men that were looking for work. That wouldn't have happened if the presidential, Bush's administration had done their job correctly and not fired the entire military, the Iraqi military.
Yes, the debathification era. One of the stupidest things that we've ever done.
Oh my God, it caused so many fucking problems.
How many times did we hear about friggin' just that very thing? Guys applying for jobs getting blown up because they're all
this was the start of it. This was the start of it.
Mm-hmm.
And what ended up happening is the entire country went into lockdown. And the only unit that went out was with the 72nd Stryker Brigade. Everybody else was in lockdown across the country. And the 72nd Stryker Brigade is the only ones that went out that day. And this film kind of reminds me of that shit. And this gives you a great explanation of the growth of money in the Middle East, because money in the Middle East didn't start until after what's his name, Lawrence of Arabia, because they were digging for water. They were digging for water, and they found oil, and all of a sudden we made them rich, and they liked it. You were going to say something?
If you guys are interested in hearing more about the battle around Mosul, I believe there's a YouTuber who was in Iraq at that time. I don't know if it was in that area, but he talks about a lot of things of that period. Is Eli Double Tap over on the Unsubscribed podcast.
Cool. Yeah, I actually worked with the combat medic that fought in the battle, as well as I interviewed and talked with Colby Bazell, who was in that battle too. And I wrote the main screenplay for the film, and then gave it to Dale Dye, and Dale Dye went and turned it into an actual movie script. Whereas mine is a more fact based, minute by minute
Yeah.
telling of what happened. He went in there and added, like he did with Oliver Stone with Platoon. He added elements from all these other incidences that took place all the way up into November of that year. But the main course of the battle was an 8-hour battle. And you hear the word battle, and what that means is there was probably an hour of combat and 7 hours of, are they still up there?
Yeah, there was a lot of that where, we're shooting for like 10 minutes and then, are they still there? Can we
Somebody
move
poke
yet?
your head up, look and see if they're still up there. And that's what they ran into.
And then 10 minutes of, no, you first.
Yeah. So this is hard for me to do this show and draw.
Yeah.
So
You can do it. You got Pope to back you up. He's all over it.
So the movie, I sent the link out to Pope. I don't know if you got a chance to watch it or not.
I did.
You did? Oh, outstanding.
He said
I
at the
think-
beginning that he saw it while he was still out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw it when I was in Afghanistan, actually. And that actually kind of made it more real for me because we were already dealing with half of the shit that goes on in this movie. And we're just like, yeah, that's how it goes.
And in this film, they create this character Hamza that stages this assault, and they do it in the two-stage assault. There's the first attack, and then they wait until everybody lets their defenses down. All the medical people are there, and then in the middle of all this medical stuff, they set off an ambulance. They put a major car bomb in the middle of this fucking ambulance and all these people. So they get even more, because that's something they were trying to do here in the U.S. is do the main assault and then try to do a secondary assault to break the will and soul of the American people by
They
killing.
kept trying to
emergency
do that
patients.
overseas too. And the problem is none of them lived long enough to get to the secondary assault.
Yep.
Because we just murdered the shit out of them.
And it's true.
It was one of those, yeah, no, I don't think so. You all need to die right now. Just like every other enemy the Marine Corps has ever fought, they realized that we're not playing games and we're really goddamn good at what we do.
Not kind of, sort of, but really, really good at what you do.
Yeah.
And I'm glad we got Hegseth in there right now, because he's putting the military back.
And focusing
shape.
on combat, not other shit. Because the military has been used as a social experiment for the last 30 years, and it's not been a good
It's always been a social experiment, buddy. It always has been.
It really hasn't. Really, that's been after the 80s.
Really?
It used to be about serving your country.
Okay.
Like, it was always a weird place to be, but until the modern era, until really the end of the Cold War, was always about fighting the Russians. Or
When
fighting,
did the desegregation of the military happen? When did that happen?
Right after World War II.
Yeah.
50s.
But that's not true, though, because before Woodrow Wilson, it was desegregated. And
Yes.
it was Woodrow Wilson who was a racist to the nth degree. He's the one who, while he was president, had the movie Birth of a Nation premiere at the White House.
Yep.
The movie where the KKK were the good guys.
Mhm.
That was Woodrow Wilson. And Wilson was just a big old flaming racist. and he's the one who resegregated the military.
I'm
Because
just
they had
saying,
to. I
it's
mean,
been
there
a social experiment for a long time.
like there were black soldiers in the Civil War on
Yes,
both
but they
sides.
served in all black units.
Yeah,
is
the
my
black
point.
units. It was right
Yeah.
after the Civil War that they began to try to work on desegregation, and
And
they
Exactly.
the funny part is
desegregated the military.
they don't want to talk about it, but there were black units that fought for the South.
They were forced
I
to.
was
They
going
were
to say
not,
they probably
actually.
forced.
The one thing they do mistake, because I'm from the South and I know this, there were black slave owners and there were black freemen in the South. They hate talking about that for some reason.
But
And
they were blacks who fought for the South willingly because it was their home, and they were fighting for their home.
but
Very
a majority
interesting.
of, because you got the Irish too. The Irish fought for the North and the South. It depended on where they came in from Ireland.
Yeah,
which
because there were
army they
three
fought
main
for.
forts. There was New York, there was Boston, and there was Savannah, Georgia. If you came into Savannah, well, congratulations, Irishmen! You're fighting for the Confederacy.
That's right. So nobody's going to help me with this movie at all, is what I'm getting. So
I haven't seen it, Gary. I'm sorry.
So while shooting on location in Mesa, Berg was involved in a fatal accident that resulted in the death of a crew member. The SUV he was riding in, he was not driving, he was riding in, collided with a John Deere Gator all-terrain vehicle driven by assistant property master Nick Papek. Papek died 3 hours later on August 8th of 2008. Papek's parents, Michael Papek and Michelle Bell, filed a lawsuit against the director, a driver, and the production company, but the lawsuit was dropped in 2008. Filming resumed one day after the incident.
He's in the
Uh,
credits
on-
though. So
Yeah, as a dedication. So on location filming took place in Abu Dhabi, as well as, like I said, in Dubai, but a bulk of the film was shot right in my hometown of Phoenix, Arizona, which included Mesa, and Mesa is part of Metro Phoenix. The film production cost an estimated $72 million. So I consider this really a good budget for a film. And their box office was around 86.8 million. So, I mean, it made money, but it didn't really make money. I would not completely call it tanking, because if it had gone negative, that's tanking. But I would say that this film really didn't make its money back, and sadly, it did not really get any awards either. So at least you hope for that.
Yeah, that's one of those.
That's going to
We
do
may
them.
not be the biggest budget film, but maybe we'll get a couple awards. And well, unfortunately.
So
Well,
just to
hearing
let you know, a country that owes so much to the United States banned this film, Kuwait and Bahrain. According to Agence France Presse, a source from Kuwait Information Ministry said that, quote, the screening of the film has been banned in Kuwait for many reasons, chiefly because it is a false depiction of facts, end quote. And that's a lie. It's fairly fucking accurate.
Yeah, it is.
A Bahraini official, information
which is,
minister, in
course,
fact,
why
cited the film's
we banned it.
reported nonconformity, quote, with the censorship laws of the Kingdom of Bahrain, end quote, as one of the reasons for the ban. He further added that the, quote, film vilifies brotherly country, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, end quote. Well, what do we always say? Just remember, every single member of that fucking 9/11 were all Saudi nationals.
Yep, well, or had Saudi passports at least.
Which
Some of
is
them
why
were-
I think Peter Berg chose not to shoot the film in the Middle East, because he knew there was going to be a problem. And like I said, this guy snuck a military film in the guise of a fucking FBI thriller. And you knew that some shit was going on when that third act hits. I'm telling you, I could tell Anima was getting really emotional watching that scene because when they get a hold of the kid, I call him a kid, he's my age. What's his
Jason
name?
Bateman.
Jason Bateman.
Yeah.
When they fucking get a hold of Jason Bateman, and it's like, oh my fucking God, man. It is like second by second, are they going to save him from being beheaded? It's a terrifying fucking scene. And this guy, what a good actor this dude is.
Yeah.
What is
I
his
have
name?
I don't remember, but I have a
Oh,
hot tattoo
Ashraf
of this
Baham.
actor.
Ashraf Baham is his name. Very good fucking actor in this movie. Jeremy Piven is in his skin as a smarmy, slimy member of the
Yes.
State Department. I told Anima, I said,
He plays a
do you-
shitbag bureaucrat so well.
yes, he does. And he's so good in this character because I said this guy isn't CIA. This guy is State Department all the way. You can tell by the way he's being portrayed.
Yeah.
This guy, on the other hand, the dad from or the stepdad from Step Brothers,
Oh,
he's
he's CIA, all that.
he's CIA, and you can watch the way people conduct themselves, and you can spot what interagency they belong to.
Well, he just talks too much.
Oh, the Piven character is
Yeah.
smarmy. He plays the character like a fucking used car salesman. It's fucking great.
Which
I'm
is
like,
exactly
that
how
guy's-
bureaucrats in the State Department act.
Yep. State Department, man. State Department all the fucking way.
Oh,
Jamie Foxx.
some of my least favorite people.
And by the way, Jamie is in one of the worst Gulf War movies ever made, Jarhead. And
I love that movie, but for different reasons.
I dislike it because the guy wanted to write his Vietnam War book for the Gulf War, and I'm like, you picked the wrong fucking war. And
Yeah, you
it's
can't
just
compare
a bunch
war
of
that's 100 hours to Vietnam.
it was so goofy the way he went about it. And it's like, look, dude, I love you. You served your country in a time of war, but don't try to make it out to be some sort of major thing that happened.
I will say
And,
it's one of the most realistic depictions of Marines in the field I've ever seen.
The boredom. Yeah.
Yeah, of just doing dumb shit. Just fucking around. Because that's exactly what we do when we don't have anything to do.
I did like their depictions of the Marine Corps, and I love that Jamie Foxx put his absolute heart into playing this gunnery sergeant. He did a great job. And
that's the thing, Gambit, is it's not overboard. That's exactly how Marines act. We are just that insane all the time.
I wished that they had made the film a better depiction of what was going on over there than making a film about nothing.
Yeah, although that's kind of the point, is that this guy got trained as a sniper for years and then never got to actually do what he was trained to do, even when he got sent over, and it fucked him up.
So Fox dedicated himself to playing that part, and I thought he did a good job. And I like Jamie Foxx.
I will say
I
that
used to not
every movie
like
I've
him.
seen him in that I haven't liked, he has not been one of the reasons I've not liked that movie. Like, he does the best with the roles he's given.
Yep. I like we're going to be doing the film Collateral.
I love that movie.
Soon.
Love it to death.
And I really liked that movie myself. So
Collateral. Yeah, that's a good movie.
Tom Cruise plays a hitman.
Yep.
And his intensity as that hitman is fucking unnerving.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, if you've seen or heard half of the things he says off camera, you can understand why he's that intense on camera. He's worse as a producer.
I'm not going to get the draw. I'm going to have to stay focused on the show. Adam, are you still here?
Yeah.
All right.
What?
So the film's critical response, I felt like it got some really good reviews. You know, Rotten Tomatoes, the approval rating from critics was 51%. But if you look, I'm going to go there right now. Just look at it. I guarantee you, it got a better fucking review by. Oh, they don't even have the link on Wikipedia. They normally have the link to the
They
review
don't have that?
aggregator.
That's weird.
That is odd. So I'm going to go back and see if I can find the reviews on Rotten Tomatoes.
Rotten Tomatoes? Tomatoes? The tomato machine?
Are you
Yeah,
mocking the
boom.
way I speak?
Here you
Joe?
go. This shows you, this gives you the general thing that I keep talking about, that established critics are garbage. Don't listen to them. Look
Okay.
at the audience reviews. So this got shitty reviews. It's a splat, tomato splat by the critics. They fucking hated this movie. While the audience, with over 250,000 reviews, got a 76 popcorn meter.
That's actually pretty damn good.
That is really fucking good. And it absolutely, it is a solid film from beginning to end. It's a taut thriller that had my an apple in my throat the whole fucking movie, especially in the third act, because I was so stressed out. Like, what's gonna happen to him? Oh my god, don't let him die. I want him in other movies. Because I'm a big fan of Jason Bateman, even though I think his sister is way better, because he's a flaming lefty. Whereas he doesn't even get along with his family, if you didn't know that. Jason Bateman is a terrible uncle. He doesn't even know his fucking nieces and nephews, you know? And he comes off as this really affable, likable guy. But I've heard from insiders in Hollywood that are friends of mine that he's kind of a shitheel in real life.
Dude, have you ever seen Tag?
Yes, I love that movie.
He plays a total dick in that movie and makes it very believable. So that's not hard for me to believe.
They
If you
can be
remember, he plays the
curated.
guy, or no, is it not? No, it's not Tag. Central
Hold
Intelligence.
on. I gotta deal with this. 11 Alpha, you know as well as I do that they have done that. But the fact is you are better to trust the audience scores. And Metacritic is the safer one. But Rotten Tomatoes, the audience score is a safer bet than the critics, period.
Oh.
You're better to get a good score, an honest score from the audience than you are there. And trust me, they have done everything in their power at Rotten Tomatoes to try to cull getting good scores for films that they didn't want to get them, that the critics hated. And they can't stop it. It's going to happen. So audiences are not going to be fucked with. They're going to get their scores out there. So once again, you are better to get an honest review from audiences on Rotten Tomatoes than ever by the established critics. So I found his so-called intense lines very comic-like. It's the fucking opportunity. Are we talking about? Who are we talking about?
I don't know.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know what we're talking about in the chat.
I misspoke
So-
a minute ago about that movie. It wasn't Tag. It was Central Intelligence with
Oh, I
the
thought
short
you were.
guy, Kevin Hart and Dwayne Johnson. He
Oh, that's
plays
a
a
terrible
total
movie.
dick they have to go to for help, man. And yeah,
Yeah.
I could see Jason Bateman being a pain in the ass, no doubt.
Yeah, they pulled a prank on him one day, and his true colors came out. It was looking like he was going to be blamed for something. This is what's his name on his MTV show,
Mhm.
pranking people, and Ashton Kutcher,
Yeah.
and basically Jason Bateman got up and just sort of walked away, like I want no part of this.
Wow.
When it was looking like he might be the one that caused the problem. And I'm like, yeah, that's pretty much what I figured.
So that's about right.
But I have to run. But I did want to say that, especially Jeremy Pivens as the slime bag
State
used car
Department guy,
salesman, State Department
Yeah.
guy. Only better casting I've seen than that was Tom Cruise in Tropic Thunder.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to finally get his movie, standalone movie.
Good.
What is it? Les Goodman?
Les
or whatever that-
Grossman. Les
Grossman, that's it.
Grossman. Yes. It's gonna be
He's
interesting to
such-
see how they
he's
do
such a
that.
good character for such an asshole human being.
Yeah. I don't think they can make him the protagonist of the show. He's got to be somebody else has to be the protagonist, and he's got to be up against him.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean, everybody loves a good villain.
Oh yeah, I know. I'm with Pope though. I've got to get going too. I got to go get Mama Rivers. So you guys have a good
Alrighty.
one, and I will see
See
you
you guys
next
later.
time.
Good day, Joe.
See
It
ya.
was great
Bye,
seeing you
Pooh.
guys. Chat.
Thank you.
I will see you guys next time.
Bye. And it's just a old threesome.
Okay. Now, I think, I feel that the heart of this movie is the Saudi Cup.
He is. That's why
That's why he
it's
dies in
so-
the end.
Yeah, it's so heartbreaking when we lose him
Yeah,
at the
it
very
is.
last minute. He's gone through all of this and fucking dies.
And I can see why this movie was banned in certain countries because they feel uncomfortable being put on the spot. I mean, they sent in a team of 4 people, one of them female and one a Jew. Of course, they'll run in trouble. So, and they show that. And it upsets me as a female to watch how backwards these countries are in so many ways.
Oh, I recognize that voice.
Yeah, she just wanted to say that she's here too.
Oh, man. This was intense, the way that they had to displace from one point to another at 70 plus miles per hour all the time.
Yeah, all the time. It's the only way to make sure that you aren't being followed.
The scene with the camel was funny though.
Oh man, but Jason Bateman had me at the end of my patience. He was so bitch. Well, he's a proper bitch during the whole movie until he gets caught. Then he comes through. Even the female tells him in the car, "Shut up."
Well,
This
he's
is right.
bitching and whining about the tempo. So
Yes,
about
all the
speed.
time.
Tell him I get car sick. Shut up. And I don't know why they locked them up in a gym overnight. You can lock them into a hotel room, you know, but now it has to be a gym.
Ah, Ben is having some misbehaviors from the kittens.
Cats being cats.
Yep. Ah, this guy, I love this actor.
Trying to remember if I've seen him in anything else.
Oh well, X-Men's Origins Wolverine,
Nope.
at least. Ooh.
I don't think I've seen that one.
You're fortunate then.
I'm
That
not
movie
into
is bad.
superheroes.
That movie is bad.
I never got into the whole superhero thing, which is why I'm absolutely digging the Punisher and Daredevil, because they're not. They're human, very human.
You should give Logan a watch.
I have seen parts of one Wolverine movie.
Oh, there have been 3 of them. Only Logan works. The other 2 were major disasters.
That sucks.
They had
Yeah.
elements that were good in them, but Logan's the best one.
She had trouble filming this movie with the heat because they had like way over 40 degrees in Arizona.
I told you I grew up in Phoenix, and it was 110 in the shade.
Yeah, she passed out on set twice because she couldn't cope with the heat. It must be terrible. I mean, they're wearing vests and shit in parts of this, doing that in the heat. I can't even imagine.
Yes, 11 Alpha. That's the other. Well, again, it's superhero movie, so anime. Haven't seen it.
No, I've seen one Spider-Man movie and I think 2 Superman. That's about it. So
Hey, I want to thank Joe and Pope for popping in for a little bit. I know both of them had scheduled stuff going on today, so it was really nice of them to hop into the show with me.
it's always good to have them. And with Joe, it's going to be like this because he has to drive his mom.
Yep.
So he can only be there for like 45 minutes. I hope Pope can do a full show next week because it's great to have him. Don't talk to me with this language. They get so offended by swear words. And of course, they're soldiers, they swear.
We should have shows with Pope without a movie.
Yes, absolutely. Just him and Gary hanging out, talking soldier shit.
Yeah, we need to do the Pope show.
Well, I've said before I'd like to see a show with talking about that war game that he likes to play that you guys talk about.
Oh, yes. We were talking about that one. Yeah, and I would do a Battletech
Yep.
show. Oh man, and I am so far behind that I haven't read anything Battletech in years.
I don't know anything about that.
As a sci-fi, it's a sci-fi universe. Started as a tabletop game, then it sprawled to books, novels, one short, very short-lived animated TV show, and a big string of video games. I got into it by the video games. That's how I knew of its existence.
Okay.
It's all military and political shit at interstellar scale. And in this universe, there are no aliens or just human conflict.
will be an interesting show.
Oh, the lore is amazing, but it's huge. I'll be back, guys.
All right. So it's just me now, I guess. Or are you with me, Gary?
I'm drawing.
Yeah, I know, but Martine had to leave for a moment, so I don't
He'll
want
be
to
back.
talk to myself here.
Yeah, I'm here.
It's so frustrating when they get all these rules and all they want to do is help find who was behind this attack, and they get limited all the time with what they can do. Especially the Jennifer Garner's
I'm back.
character.
Well, that's the way it is. She shouldn't have been on that unit.
Yeah, probably not send a Jew in there too, but they sent the best people they have.
Well, the Jew, I don't care because you only have to you will have to see his documentation to be you to know that he's you. But she, when by only appearing, is gonna be a problem. I'm not saying that is correct. I'm saying that that's the way it is, and you should know that. I think she went go because just because she was part of the team and she had a very deep friendship with the guy that dies in the attack. Both her and Jamie
Personal
Foxx
reasons. Yeah.
characters, yes, they were very close to the guy that dies.
I didn't pick that up about her. I mean, he is still caring for his kids, so obviously they were good friends.
Oh no, there's a moment in which Jason Bateman asks Chris Cooper what was her connection to Fran, and he says, well, he was her mentor, he was her friend. She introduced his wife to him, and they have been, yes, they have been tied for years.
That's the problem when you only watch a movie once. There's some things that you might not catch. I know you there, Gambit.
What did he say? I'm sorry, I'm a
No,
little distracted from
when
the
you popped
chat.
out for a moment, I asked Gary if he was still there or if I'm on my own.
Mm.
And Gambit says, we are also here. I know that.
That's his. What is this? I mentioned right at the end of the stream last week, maybe talking about some well-known military book series like The Brotherhood of War and The Corps by Webb Griffin. Gary,
Yeah, what?
that's an idea. Talk about military books. That's an idea from 11 Alpha.
Mm.
He's in full drawing mode.
Yeah.
He may not even register what I'm saying to him.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah.
At least he gave you a noise. I don't even get reactions when he goes into drawing mode like that. It's like I'm hanging out all by myself, being babysat by whatever movie or show we have on.
Gambit, no, we have lost Gary to his art.
I don't know about doing a show about books because that might not have that great of an audience because people just prefer movies over books.
We could try.
Yeah.
And I don't read fiction.
Well, the books are The Brotherhood of War and The Corps. I don't know if fiction or... Okay, I'm gonna check that out. Let's go to Wikipedia.
If somebody else wants to do it, I would be fine with that. But it would be pointless for me to do it because I just don't read books anymore. My ability to read books is part of the problem because my eyes are so bad.
Welcome to the club. And I really have to get my surgery, man. I keep
I used to really
postponing
enjoy
it.
reading books, but that shit's gone away
I can't
as I've
imagine
gotten
not
older.
being able to read anymore.
It sucks.
I hope I never lose that ability. I love books. Always have. I was born a reader.
Also, in the time that I would love to be reading a book, I have to work. The other problem.
So audiobooks are your option then.
That's what I get. I get audiobooks.
You read with your ears.
And I get the what do you call it? The unabridged. I like unabridged books.
Yes, 11, but are they based, are works of fiction or based on historical fact? Okay, the Brotherhood of War was a series spanning the end of World War II to Vietnam. It focused on the Army, especially Special Forces, and the birth of Army aviation.
Oh,
Could be interesting if it's well written. Oh, I can't talk. I have such a headache today.
Yeah, that's going what I'm going to say from now on when I can
No,
speak.
man, the weather has been crazy here. We had 30 degrees and then we had 2 days of intense thunderstorms and now it's crashed down to 20 degrees and my head just doesn't do with that.
The other thing is the implication.
What's that?
It's a complicated situation. In this the situation with these people are, because yeah, the FBI is tasked to make this kind of investigation when citizens had attacked abroad. However, there was a situation in that she explained to them is the kingdom cannot be seen as if they cannot handle the situation.
That and the attackers wear
Because
military uniforms. So they need to
yeah,
find out
but the thing is,
what the problem
if the
is.
kingdom is perceived as if they need help, they will lose the support of the people, and that would impact the oil supply,
Yeah.
because they would the kingdom would lose.
That's why Al
No,
Ghazi is in command of everything and
yeah.
everything runs by him and he's
No,
present.
he's not in command of anything. Everything's in command of the other guy, Abdul Malaki. And he says, I'm sorry, but he says to the prince, I know General Abdul Malaki. I was with him while he was interrogating one of my men, and he has no investigative experience. He wanted to run the show and said, no, you won't run the show. The show will be on the hand of the general. You will be on charge of the security of the FBI personnel, because they have to live here as intact as they arrive. That's
Yeah,
what is
they don't
frustrating
want
him.
more scandal on top of everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, that's incredibly frustrating, because he wants to be on ground solving this crime, and he knows that the whole investigation and the treatment of the crime scene is in the hands of somebody that is not competent in that area. They put a military general to do the work of an investigative cop.
Yeah, that's going to work.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And you see how they are having that friction at the beginning, the first 2 days. But when Jamie Foxx tells him, just ask for permission so we can do something. And things start moving after that dinner with the prince. You see how the dynamic between Algazi and the FBI changes instantly.
Yeah.
And they begin to have beginning to have results.
Because they finally get to do some investigating. It takes them a while to figure out how they can pull it off. And it's so frustrating. That prince is so
It's-
young to be the leader of a country.
Well, not a country. It's the leader of an emirate. Remember there are very the United Arab Emirates are a conjunction of little kingdoms. Well, it's a kingdom.
Yeah, but still, he's a leader, and he looks like in his 20s, early 20s.
Well, remember they take seriously that shit there, so they groom their princess from a young age, early age.
Yeah, and everything
Oh
runs
my
on
god!
tradition, so
Oh my god! I cannot speak today.
yeah, join the club.
I apologize to our audience. I'm doing my best to try to convey what I'm thinking.
Yeah, we're both not Englishing today, but we're trying.
And that is when at last they allow them to physically participate, albeit with some restrictions. Still, they cannot touch corpses of Muslim people,
Men.
which
Which is weird.
yeah,
I mean, they are dead. They don't care anymore.
um, there are spiritual connotations. Yes, and that is evidence here. Oh, and she's in double trouble because she's a non-Muslim woman
Yeah.
in need of touch of a Muslim disease, so that she had to resort to use another person to do her job. She uses a
Yeah. I
proxy.
mean, women can't do anything there. And we have come across this here in Austria when Muslim immigrants refused to take German lessons because the teacher was female. And what did the idiots from the city do? They replaced her with a male teacher. And that's not the right signal to send.
That's a big can of worms.
They are
I
so
don't know if
backwards when
we-
it comes to women. It's just.
I don't. Yes, they are, but I don't know if we should address that here.
I know.
Freaking algorithm.
I'm just saying, her being part of the team is highly problematic.
Yes. And she's not helping because remember Algasi says, oh no, the guy from the politician who was with there. Remember when he says, "Cover your boobies, please."
She's in a t-shirt.
You should-
She's covered. And he's like, yeah, we have to cover these
Yeah, but
situations. here."
dude,
I'm like,
you
"Fuck
can
off."
you can
He
you
refers
can,
to
you
it as a
can see them.
situation. Yeah, it's
You
a
can see them
situation.
a mile away because there are very nice boobies. And in my opinion, they should have been wearing their vest all the time that they're not
Yes,
in the gym.
but I guess it was too hot. On
Yeah,
location.
I prefer heat than a bullet, but that's just me. Now they're bonding as cops.
I'm just saying she passed out twice on the set, so maybe they didn't want to run into more trouble by
Oh,
having
well.
her in the vest all the time. They do stuff for actors. Remember when they filmed The Rock and Sean Connery wanted the water heated and everybody got the shits from the bacteria in it? Yeah, they do stupid stuff for actors to be comfortable.
Yeah, I've always been shocked because Connery is really was really a tough dude. But when
Hey,
it came down to doing movies, he did not want to be put out in any way, shape, or form. And it always shocked me to find out what a kind of a pussy he was, wanting his comforts.
Yeah.
to the people in the chat, I just have noticed that there are chats appearing on YouTube that are not appearing here on StreamYard for me. So I
What?
cannot. Yeah, it, Gambit and 11 has been talking from a while, and their chats are not appearing here on StreamYard.
The last chat I see is from 10 minutes ago.
Nope, they're being right.
Okay, so StreamYard is broken.
Yeah, StreamYard's broken because the last one is 10:59 for me.
Yeah. I've been wondering why chat got so quiet. What's going on here?
Here, let me turn on show comments.
Yes, I think that would. Oh, it's blank.
Yeah.
Blank.
StreamYard does its shit again. Always something.
Okay, so I will have to go to YouTube chat window. Alpha says that the book that he's talking about, they're basically fictionalized version of real events. Okay, interesting.
Sort of like
Yeah,
War and Remembrance, those books by Herman Wouk. I'm a big fan of those books.
Gambit is talking about the Nicaraguan Civil War.
And by the way, I have the complete series of Herman Wouk World War II movies with Robert Mitchum. Not movies, but miniseries. They're fucking good. Wow, Phoenix.
I found that very funny when you recognized your train stop. It's always funny to see your own place in a movie.
Yeah, even my comments not showing up on screen.
That is so weird.
But maybe they implemented an update and we should have to reload. But
And
if
they
we
can't do
reload, we
that
lost the
overnight.
stream.
They do that in the middle of the morning, really. Great timing.
Well, is the middle of the morning somewhere all the time? So
I'm assuming they operate from the US.
That's one of the problems of the globalized world.
You are talking to people who have a relationship being 7 hours apart. So we live this daily. Well, what sucks is that I can't go to YouTube because StreamYard and YouTube on my laptop are not friendly. So if I go on YouTube, everything freezes here.
By the
That's when-
way, that reminds me that I am indebted with Saks. So here you go.
Oh yeah,
Hey,
give
fuck
him his
you,
bill.
Kyle.
There you go. Needs to be said.
Comments are frozen on our end. So I will I will try to read them instead of showing them. And I apologize for the butchering before.
Better than not having them at all, Martin.
Oh, thank you. That makes me feel better. That's so reassuring.
That's my way of cheering you up.
Yeah, please don't.
Okay. Stopping right now.
Okay, what is happening here? This is when they are meeting an ex-terrorist.
Yeah.
A
He's on
bomb
their
maker.
side now.
He's a bomb maker specifically,
Hmm.
and he explains that basically every bomb maker eventually gets bitten by their patent. And they shows the fingers, and that's the big sign right there that they need to watch for in the third act. Missing fingers.
Oh, that's why they figure out that they used an ambulance. That pisses them off.
Yeah, I'm gonna take off this square.
The Cold War officially ended with the fall of the Berlin Wall. And it was all thanks to the cooperation between the Vatican and the Reagan administration for really pushing it. Because we figured out, oh my God, we keep trying to keep up with them, and look, we're having so much financial issues because of that. And somebody went, well, wait a minute, we could do that to them. And so they started pushing the envelope with Russia, and they financially broke them by creating fictional fucking things here in the US, making them overspend to try to keep up with us. And I'm oversimplifying. There's so much more involved with that.
Oh, yeah. The one thing that was problematic for me with this movie was the shaky cam.
Which I think lit to the feel that they were going for of it being live. You're in the middle of it as it's happening.
Yeah, but it doesn't work because it takes me out of it, because it's so hard to
You
focus on
you
what's
say
happening.
that, and yet it does work.
Nah.
It works
Then
for me
maybe-
just fine. And I have the average audience attitude when I go to see a film. Like, it doesn't work. The shaky camera doesn't work with G.I. Jane because the entire film has more of a cinematic feel, and then suddenly it gets shaky. And that's where it loses its sense. But this film, from the beginning to end, is shot like almost like a documentary.
Yeah, like I said, I get why they did it, but it makes it hard for me.
Yeah. I'm sure there's going to be a small percentage of people who are affected by that in a negative way. But the fact is, it worked just fine for me. The sad thing is, like I said, this film made its basic budget back and went over that because, it was, anywhere between 60 and $72 million budget, and it made 86 million at the box office.
But the other thing is, yes, it can be obnoxious the shaky cam, but I think it is more offensive in hand-to-hand combat scenes because you want to see the fight.
Yeah, they screwed that up with the second Bourne film and the second Taken. The first Taken and the first Bourne films did better camera work, so you're able to see the action. Way too many cuts and way too many jerky movements in the second films and beyond.
Hey, Hale and Places in the house. How are you, friend?
Hello, hello.
Yeah, so domestically, this film made 47.5 million, and internationally, it made 39.4 million. So the accumulated worldwide box office was $87 million. So that's not good.
It's a difficult topic.
And I'm certain that it made its money back in rental.
Shit is about to go south here.
And this is when they're on the road and Jamie's character notices vehicles moving in an odd way towards them. And that's
And
when
boom.
shit goes south. In fact, he reaches for the steering wheel.
And
He's
tells
in
him to
it-
brake.
Yeah, brake.
Thankfully, he's alert because the rest of his team is in the back talking about beer and bickering about shit.
Yeah, they're not paying attention.
They're checked out. They're on the way to catch their plane back to the United States. So they're not focused anymore. And he
It's
bites them
still
in the
not
ass.
showing any new comments.
Nope. Completely dead. And we can't refresh in the middle of a show. This sucks. We love our chat, and StreamYard doesn't let us interact with them.
Yeah, hell, and we're having issues. Well, we're not having issues. StreamYard is having an issue.
Yeah. We are in the third act.
Yeah, the minute they hit the road, this is the third act. Eleven Alpha says bad driving is a warning sign, since with no women drivers, Saudi roads are usually pretty safe.
Jesus.
Oh, oh.
Brutal. The
Oh,
action
damn
is
it.
pretty intense in this.
Why are you saying sorry? You don't have anything to be sorry for.
Yeah, we don't have female drivers here because I don't drive.
Oh, sorry for leaving for a while to eat. Oh, dude, no, you never apologize for having to eat. You
No.
you have to be vigilant with your body.
And this is the scene where they're trying to follow both vehicles because they can't lose sight of him. If they lose sight of him, he's dead. And they know it.
He knows it too.
And I love
Why
that
he's
they
been
go to the
taken.
bad side of town and he keeps going, this is a bad side of town. No shit.
Yeah, you can tell by the bullets flying around you.
Yeah. It's like, you don't need to keep telling us. We can tell because we've had
This is
RPGs
not
with
good
bullets thrown
area.
at us.
Yeah.
Because this is where they spot the Suburban. And he's been dragged into the building already.
And
And they're taken up there to video record
yeah,
his execution.
but thankfully they have to read that long, whatever he's reading before doing it, and that gives his team time. Because they have to make a statement before they take his head. And this had me on the edge of my seat. It's
Tim
intense.
says, I have seen better organized soccer riots than what's going on in LA.
Oh, we
Oh.
have Tim here. We don't
Do
know
it.
what that means.
Do
Yes,
it.
I will. I'm on it.
There's some pictures of civilian casualties.
Fuck you, Tim.
I like
Again,
that one.
Phoenix. This is Phoenix Mesa, actually. Where this is at. It's something that bothered a lot of us that are from Phoenix that kind of don't like. Because when I grew up there, everything wasn't Adobe, everything wasn't tan. That's something that happened later. There was a lot of brick and soft teal colors and brick and it's weird the way the city started pushing for more and more of an Adobe look to everything. And so in the end, it's because of that it works, that they were able to shoot around Mesa and Phoenix. Yeah, the minute you come to a stop in a situation like this, get the fuck away from your vehicle. It's one of the first things that cops do. When they come to a stop, they get the fuck out of their vehicles because it's referred to as the casket.
Ah, I didn't know that.
Unless you've got a super bulletproof vehicle.
Most of them are not. It's why it's so stupid when the seat cover behind an opened door of a car. That's not going to protect you from anything.
Not to mention your lower part of your legs.
Yeah.
One of the things that you're taught in the military is firing underneath vehicles, and even if you've got asphalt ricocheting, firing down at an angle, and the bullets will come up on the other side.
Yeah. He is putting up a fight. He's not going down easy.
Not without a fight. That's one of the things that saves him, is that he keeps resisting. Of course,
He
they beat
fights
the
like an
shit out of
animal.
him. They beat the shit out of him every single
Yeah.
time. But he's like, I'm not dead yet.
Yeah, he's not holding it still. He's giving them everything.
He's like Ernie Hudson. Bitch, I'm still here.
Yeah, right. I need to refill my glass of water. I'll be back.
I don't know why he isn't in more American films. He's a really good actor, and he's really good with his English. But he sticks to the Middle East. Insights. There you go. Yeah, I love how simplistically they piece everything together in this one apartment that they go into. They see the marble. It's exactly
Yeah,
the
the
same
marble is
marble.
yeah.
And I pointed out because Anima didn't know what Jackson balls are. And I'm like, yeah, man, it was a popular toy for kids. Even boys played it when we were kids.
I've never
You
seen
know,
that.
we
have
played that
marbles.
in marbles.
That game.
I mean, that was a big thing when I was a kid. Getting steelies and getting clearies when you played marbles as kids. Clearies are the perfectly clear glass ones, and getting I forget what they call cat's eyes, which had the swirl center.
Yeah.
That's
And then, of
the
course,
marbles that I had.
and
But which
steelies were basically ball bearings that we would put into our collection of marbles. And oh my God, I remember my brother Mike and I went down to the train yards looking for a larger steely. It was like that big. It's like, man, we'll wipe them out with that. Win every game.
we never really played with them. We collected them and traded.
Oh, we played them though. We played them all the time. You get your little circle, and your goal is to get the marbles outside the circle, and the one with the most outside wins. You collect those marbles, and you get to keep marbles too, other people's marbles if you beat them. Kind of a form of gambling with kids. This, I'm going to bet you, was some of the most intense shooting because it's so tight. But I heard, and I remember seeing making of videos where they're just kind of chucking and laughing and stuff, making this stuff. But there had to have been at some point a mindset of like, you know, this is horrifying what we're depicting here.
It is.
And he knows it's like, this is probably the end for me, but I'm not going out quietly. Just like in life, he's an annoying son of a bitch. So he decided to be annoying to the bad guys.
I was so surprised how well she pulled it off. Because when I saw the cheese in it, I was like, is that going to work? It does. Fuck yeah.
Oh, and when she pokes her head through the hole and shoots the one dude, and he's like pointing, telling her,
yes,
right
there's
there.
Another one.
There's one more right there. And she's like, huh? Like,
now, the other thing that you have to consider is if you fight, there are less chance that you die by decapitation. You could die faster and
yeah,
less gruesomely.
Beat you to death or shoot you.
Decapitation is a pretty quick death, as far as I know.
No,
Not the way they do it.
No,
not the way they do it. Not the way they do it.
They
bore
don't do
witness
one
to
swing.
some of those videos, and they're horrific. They saw.
I'll never watch that.
They saw. There's none of that quick shit.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, Michael Savage used to post those videos on his website, man. And oh my God, man, I would go in and I'm like, as an American, oh, there he is. That's Hamza right there. That's the villain. When he sees his hand, he says, "Let me help you up," and he grabs his hand. Right here, this scene. And oh my God, I was like going, please don't kill this guy. He's my favorite character in the movie. And they fucking kill him, man.
Yeah, that was heartbreaking.
That kid walks in there and shoots him in the neck. It's an in and out too. It hits on this side of the neck, it comes out this side, and I'm like, oh, that's bad. Because trying to apply pressure to both sides. And they smoke his ass right here. It's like, what are you going to do without fingers on that? All he's got is this pinky and ring finger. The other fingers are gone. Like, nub that fucking trigger. And I felt that what they should have done in this film is they should have shown a passage of more time, not just 5 days. I think that they should have shown more time in order to, and they didn't have to even depict a whole lot. They needed to show that there was more than just 5 days for these two to develop this kind of bond.
Is it
And I
even
think
5 days? Because I got the feeling they were sent home early. They didn't
Yes,
even
they
get
were
their
sent
full
here
5 days.
early.
Yeah.
And it's like, you need more than that to build that kind of bond with somebody.
Yeah, that's true.
And I think this should have been a 2-week thing, but they wanted to stick with that 5-day thing. And I'm like, man, it's going to be hard to sell that. But I still fucking buy it, man. That breaks him. Man, I'm telling you, Phoenix looks like the Middle East. I had one of my redneck friends got pissed at me because we had a major haboob hit Phoenix when I was there. And Zoe is at the window. I have video of it on my Facebook page. It's like you couldn't see across the street. It was so thick. And
Wow.
this thing was close to about 5 to 6 stories tall, this storm that came in. And he said, why don't you just call it what it is, a sandstorm? I said, because it's not a sandstorm, it's a haboob, which is a massive sandstorm.
I've never heard
And
that word before.
and he said, well, why don't you say massive sandstorm? I said, I have one word. You're saying 3. One word describes what you're saying with 3 words. Haboob.
By the way, we have the real review 3000 here, and he's saying hello to you, Gary. What happened?
I don't know. I think we lost Gary. I thought it was just my computer because shit is freezing sometimes. But I think he's having trouble connecting. I hope he hasn't lost the internet. This scene, man.
It's
yet another
mirroring
kid of one of his friends.
We are Garryless.
Yeah, and Twitter and Rumble are lost too. So something is going on here with StreamYard. Do you see that up there,
Rumble. Or Rumble.
No, Twitter's gone too.
Same thing. Twitter and Rumble are being attacked. Oh.
What?
Don't be surprised if YouTube falls down too. It could have been related to the riots in LA.
Oh, damn.
Twitter and Rumble may be under denial of service attack yet again. Oops, Gary says that his StreamYard just took a dump. Yeah, so maybe we get pulled out too. I don't know.
Yeah, in the management group, he just posted rejoin ? I don't know what that's supposed to mean.
Yes, if you can rejoin, please do so. You see, that's I'm thinking that they roll out an update, and it forcing now to get the update online on his end. And it may happen to us. Oh man, this part is so gut wrenching. It left you like John Connor asking the Terminator, "We're not gonna make it as a species, right?" No, Gary, we cannot hear you nor see you. In fact, you don't appear here in the studio, neither in the backstage.
Yeah, he's not in here.
I don't know. Maybe as I know I sound like the may sound like Todd, but have you tried to restart your computer?
Yeah.
Okay, so this will be the Martin and Anima Muppet Show. We
Yeah, I think we
apologize.
should just end the stream because nothing is working. We don't have chat. We don't have Gary. It's weird that it only did it for him and not for us too.
Yeah. Let's wait. Let's give the big guy some chance to get in. In the meantime, we can try to entertain our beloved audience.
I don't see them. If I pull up YouTube, we cannot have a conversation because StreamYard will keep freezing.
Oh, right. Absolutely right. Well, let me try to keep you on. But
Yeah,
we have,
this is going
as
to
I
be
said,
Martina updating me on the chat. Wow.
so I will read the chat and you will react to them. As I said, we had recently incoming uh, the real review 3000. He said,
Is
I
that
tried to
somebody
call
new?
him. I don't know, but I think it's Gary's friend. He tried to call him. I'm not sure, but it won't go through. It may be, oh, yes. But how is then he able to interact with us in the chat? The marvels of modern technology.
Yeah.
You remember when the first year of the cell phone, with the most common line was, "Hey, can you hear me? Can you hear me?"
Mobile phones were pretty common when I got my first one because I refused at first. And I got my first mobile phone in 2001 because my roommates were so unreliable to delivering messages that it cost me gigs. I was playing in church on Sundays to make some extra money. And I lost too many gigs, so I got a mobile phone so people could reach me directly. So they were pretty good back then. And of course, I got the classic indestructible Nokia. It fell down the stairs when I moved, and it didn't have a crack. Nowadays, you look at a phone the wrong way, and it has a crack.
Everyone but me had one of those. Now I had a Motorola. Motorola were quite resilient too. A friend of mine, he had a. Was it a clamshell model? And he worked on cell phone towers, and one day his phone fell out like 40 meters.
Wow.
Yes, and he finished his job, he finished his task, uh, went down, expecting to collect the pieces, and the phone was working.
Wow, that's impressive.
Oh, Gary said that to end the show. Okay. So that's the boss's wishes. It shall be done. Well, everybody, I deeply apologize for the shortness of the show.
Technology is not on our side today.
Yeah. So we invite you for tomorrow, and the